When Sir Edmund Hillary became the first man to reach Everest summit almost 70 years ago, he explained his journey by saying, "It's not the mountain we conquer, it's ourselves." It's the same with any significant feat. The journey is every bit as important as the destination. The backstory is compelling as the accomplishment. The same is true of the Bathurst 1000. Our great race contested on a majestic circuit carved into Mount Panorama and ingrained into the Australian psyche.
Side by side.
It's gone off the track into a tree!
This Bathurst place, it creates more drama than anything else you'd ever like to point a stick at.
The road to becoming a Bathurst champion doesn't just start here. It winds back years, decades, generations. Through his highs and lows, Chaz Mostert has never compromised on his dreams, except once. He was only 6 and he begged for a motorbike. His mum, Debbie, replied, 4 wheels or no wheels. Chaz took the deal and his parents staked their future on him, even mortgaging their house to keep his racing dream alive. Chaz's mum died when he was only 17, and he resolved to ensure his sacrifices and those made by his dad wouldn't be in vain. In 2014, in only his second drive at the mountain, Chaz came from last to win in one of the greatest victories in Bathurst history.
This kid is going to win this thing today. This is huge in Australian motorsport.
But 1 year later, the mountain bit back.
A massive moment into the wall, out of business for Chaz Mostert, the reigning champion. A shocking accident.
A broken leg, a torn medial ligament and a fractured wrist hasn't deterred Chaz from wanting to conquer the mountain again. James Courtney has maintained his nerve when others might have buckled. If that fateful day at Monza didn't stop him, nothing would. James was 22 and test driving a Jaguar Formula One car when a rear suspension failure flung him into steel barriers at a mind-numbing 320 kilometres per hour. It was a miracle he survived. The accident cost him a career in Formula One. After living alone abroad since he was 14, James returned to Australia and found a home in supercars.
James Courtney, a man who has won championships around the world. This is a homegrown win.
However, his journey has been anything but easy.
Huge damage.
This year, the 41-year-old has returned to the mountain for a 16th time. He has yet to win the famous race. Will Davidson was born into a motorsport dynasty. His grandfather Lex was an Australian Drivers' Champion.
Here is Lex Davidson, 4 times winner of the Australian Grand Prix.
His grandmother Diana was one of the country's first female racing car drivers. Will's father Richard, brother Alex and cousin James all have fuel in their veins. He has stood atop the Bathurst podium twice, but now Will is chasing a unique slice of history as he partners with his older brother Alex in an effort to become the first siblings to win the Bathurst 1000. If they are victorious, another chapter of the Davidsons' rich history in motorsport will be written. Shane van Gisbergen doesn't care what you think about him. He does his talking on the track. It's been that way since he was a young kid in a hurry on the outskirts of Auckland, New Zealand. They didn't call him the wild child for nothing. Some rivals have called him a lot worse in the years since.
Shane van Gisbergen is the master of Bathurst.
Shane's natural ability to extract speed from anything he pilots cannot be denied.
Unbelievable drive. Shane van Gisbergen is the winner with a broken left collarbone.
Even a broken collarbone and 3 broken ribs couldn't slow him down this year. Cam Waters' love of racing was born in the dirt, watching his dad compete in Speedway. He was 17, still at school, and didn't have a driver's licence when he became the youngest driver in Bathurst history after winning a reality TV program. Last year, Cam came agonisingly close to glory, beaten by Van Gisberger by 0.8 of a second.
A beautiful drive today for Cam Waters.
The country kid from Mildura has grown from reality contestant to box office star. Mark Winterbottom's story began as a kid, idolising Peter Brock and dreaming about winning the Bathurst 1000.
To win the 1984 James Hardy 1000.
Money was tight growing up in the western Sydney suburb of Doonside. Mark's mum, June, did what she could, working every day in the M4 toll booth to support his dreams. When Mark wanted a go-kart, she sold the family couch to fund it. Sadly, Mark's mum passed away and never saw his greatest triumphs.
Mark Winterbottom will win the Bathurst 1000.
But he has never forgotten her sacrifice. Frosty is 40 now, with 3 kids of his own. He desperately wants another Bathurst win, for his young family this time, as much as for his late mum. For Jamie Whincup, there's winning and losing, nothing in between. It's been a double-edged sword at times. He's already won 4 Bathursts, but it could have been more. In one of the most controversial moments in Bathurst history, Jamie chose to ignore team orders to save fuel.
You're not going to finish if you don't get the maximum.
And instead raced on for the win in 2014.
Mate, we're not going to make
He
it.
led to the final lap, but he pushed it too far.
Whincup is out of fuel.
He shot for glory. It's the only way he knows. Jamie, arguably the greatest of all time, is hanging up his helmet. This is his last race. And in true Jamie style, it has all been on his terms. This mountain holds endless stories.
This is a big incident.
Everyone revels in the legend of this race and its rivalries.
They are two heated competitors.
And this year's Bathurst 1000 will be no different. On Sunday, whoever reaches the summit and holds the Peter Brock Trophy aloft, there is no question they will have earned it.